Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Rob Wyatt from Siemens Energy, the subsea part of Siemens Energy. And the next few minutes, we're just going to have a look at how we think we can help lower the cost of marine energy through affordable connection solutions. So, just very quickly through that. We have in Siemens a dedicated team of 12 people based in the UK, just looking at one piece of the marine energy puzzle. And that piece that we're looking at is subsea electrical and fibre optic Wetmade connection systems. Siemens are able to do this because they acquired the world leader in subsea connection technology 12 months ago just, and that company's name was Tronic. So we're going to look at what we think the marine renewables industry is asking for, what is the status today, and what we're going to do about it tomorrow. So the question that we're being asked is, how is all this going to be connected up? So the kind of yellow boxes on the diagram there is where we think Wetmade connection systems could be placed in order to hook up the cable to the devices. So there's floating devices, fixed foundation type devices, devices with removable nacelles, multi-megawatt devices that are coming on the horizon, and most likely there's going to be electrical collection hubs with export cables, and all these things need connecting up. So, what is the challenge? Well, we've got to connect up farms of devices, not just one-off demonstrations, but dozens of devices to the subsea cables. So far, so good. But it's got to be done in these very, very difficult wave and tidal environments. Oh, and it's also got to last 25 years. Oh, and it's also got to be a low-cost solution. So that's quite a challenge. And we also hear, when we listen to developers, that the supply chain, that's us, ourselves, need to invest in specific products for this market. And also that if somebody can offer a single contract solution so that the developers haven't got to manage multiple small contracts with specialized interfaces between the contracts, then that's something that they would find attractive. So what's our answer to this challenge? Well, a slightly wordy response is ultra reliable, so it's got to last for 25 years with no maintenance and an expectation of zero failure rate. Wetmate means that we have, very simply, a socket and a plug that's attached to the end of the cable, and it can be mated together under the water. Wetmate. Hybrid means that this connection system doesn't just make up the power cables, but it also makes up the fibre optics, the low voltage auxiliary, and any other services that's required. And integrated means that whoever can offer this from the subsea cable end through the Wetmade connection system, the cables that are required, penetrations into the devices themselves, this integrated scope of supply to cut out all the management of the interfaces. So a typical example might be the schematic here. So a plug, mechanical arrangement on the end of the cable, and inside that mechanical arrangement there is the Wetmade connectors themselves, and that simply lands by some mechanism onto the socket. So why is our answer Wetmade connection systems? Well, the Carbon Trust thought that a third to a half of farm through-life costs are in the installation, operation and maintenance. So this is an area where identifying the cost and reducing them is extremely important. So there's some reasons why Wetmade connection systems are beneficial, but it all really hinges around this. With Wetmade connection systems, the subsea equipment can be deployed and recovered without the need to lift the power cable from the seabed. So that means that the connection can be reliably achieved within the window of opportunity, which is going to be small, and using Wetmate so you can increase that window of opportunity. You don't have to manage excess cable lengths, and you don't need to disturb the cable protection systems. And most crucially is that damage to cables, which is being experienced by the industry today, should not occur. So where are Wetmade connectors at today? Well, the good news is that they exist. Thousands of connectors have been deployed already, and an example is 11 kV Wetmade connection systems have been in the water since 25 years ago. The existing range that exists for megawatt scale devices, you have a choice of connectors from 690 volts through to 11 kV, including 6.6, 3.3 and so on. There's, thank you, low voltage auxiliary, copper Ethernet and fiber connectors. And absolutely crucially, ultra high reliability is key, and we have this today. So what's next for these connection systems? They already exist, but we need to develop specific, cost-reduced connection systems that are designed exactly for the marine renewables requirements. And we can plot a curve of our plan for a connection system cost from today through to full-scale deployment. So where we are today, demo project stage, is existing products that we have to offer, and these will have to be put into the mechanical plug and socket arrangements, which will be specific, so high non-recurring engineering costs. But we need to invest now in developing new products to take us further down this curve, so that tomorrow, when we get into farm developments, that we can come down this cost curve, which, to put some numbers on it, we think today, well, we know today that a connection system costs about £750,000. But we think that we can reduce that by 2/3 when we get further down the line into when we can have purchase orders for 30 off or more. So Wetmade connectivity is prerequisite. It exists today and is proven, but we need to invest and develop new products, and we need to be able to offer a single contract. And if we can achieve this together, then we can get this little piece of the overall jigsaw put into place. Thank you for your attention.